The cover of this book is red.
Shut up and sit down.
Now, some of you might think that I'm wrong. Some of you might not agree that the cover of that book is red. And you know what? That's okay. You are entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to mine, and we can agree to disagree. And today, I want to talk to you about perception. But before we start, I should probably introduce myself. Hi, my name is Moosh. I am 27 years young. I grew up in a place called Kalamazoo, Michigan, but I currently live in North Hollywood, California. I'm a science teacher by trade. I love all things science and nature. I love backpacking and bird watching. I also collect rocks. In my spare time, I write poetry. As you could probably tell by looking at me, I am not into sports whatsoever. I love sushi, and despite being an extroverted person, I'm actually extremely shy and get incredible social anxiety. So now that you know a little bit about me, you probably have a pretty good perception of the kind of person that I am. When I first appeared on camera and you saw me, you automatically formed a perception of who I was in your brain. As humans, despite having 5 senses, and unless you were born otherwise, we generally rely heavily on our sense of sight in order to perceive the world around us. We take a collection of our experiences, and we take a collection of what we already know, and we instantly judge something based on how they look. And by my description of me, a lot of it probably went along with the way that you first perceived me. Had I said I was 19, the lead singer in a punk rock band, atheist, and extremely introverted, it probably wouldn't have exactly matched up to the conclusions that you already have drawn. But what if I could change your perception of me in the next 30 seconds? Would you believe me? There, now what do you think? Now if I told you that I was 19, the lead singer in a punk rock band, atheist and extremely introverted, would it make more sense to your brain? When we use our senses, they send signals to our brain. And the scientific definition of perception is the way that our brain interprets the data that our senses send to it. And again, we use our perception in order to form what's true about the world around us. But as you can see, what may be your truth doesn't always make it the truth. The funny thing about perception is that no two people perceive things the same way. Not a sound, not a color, not a taste. And essentially, that's what makes you, you. But we as a species are constantly trying to perceive things in a broader spectrum by putting ourselves in other people's shoes. And that is called empathy. We teach our children from a young age empathy by letting them know they should finish their food because there are starving people in other parts of the world. As adult people who are trying to navigate this world and understand what true equality is and fight for social justice, we are constantly trying to put ourselves in other people's shoes in order for us to understand the systematic problems that are in place. So while I may never fully understand what it's like to see things from your point of view, empathy is something that helps me try and do that. It helps us find commonalities between each other, and in the grand scheme of things, it helps us go from our personal truth to finding that broader idea of what the truth actually is. Now, at the beginning of this video, I told you that the cover of this book was red, and a lot of you probably disagreed with me. And again, that's okay. But what I encourage you to do going forward is not to tell somebody that they're wrong until you try to see things from their point of view. And after you perceive something, realize that you can never really judge a book by its cover. That bird is going to town. As Jason Derulo would say, talk birdie to me.